All right, guys, we're back to the action here. We've got Jordan Briones about to serve to Collin Johns. This is our third match of day 3 in our first session. This is our first singles match. Should prove to be a good competitive match here. We'll see early how they're looking. That ball was hit wide, actually, I think. Yeah, I believe that. That's what I saw, but I just wanted to make sure. All right, I've got a special guest, Riley Newman. What's up, Riley?
Pickleball Nation, how we doing? Pickleball?
I got to tell you, man, I still got bowling on the brain a little bit.
Has Scott been drilling you guys with the bowling yet? Man, we had a blast. We had a blast last night. You know, Scott was on Team Newman. We ended up winning our first round battle, but we made a double or nothing bet, and we came up on the wrong side of the coin on that one. But it was still a lot of fun.
We were streaking in that first round.
We did.
We faded.
Yeah, we did. We faded quick.
All right, so far both players playing very solid. That is just unbelievable effort by Jordan. However, Collin was able to get that ball short enough over the net right there, close to the kitchen.
Yeah, I think early in singles matches, I think a lot of players will focus on hitting the ball with a lot of margin. You know, hitting more down the center of the court just to get a groove, maybe get some comfortability. And you see how they're going right down the middle. They're making a lot. The margins are very big. They're not going for big shots. They want to get a nice groove in so they can work into the match.
Absolutely. But I guess the downside to that would be if your opponent's playing well right out of the gate, they can rip angles on you and hit passing shots by you if you're not really dialed in at that moment, because you might come up a little too quick and get past, and then it throws you off your rhythm a little bit. But I do like what you're saying about that, because it's a feeling out process early, right?
Yeah, there's a happy medium, sure. I think Jordan, actually, he just exclusively went to the two-handed backhand. Before this weekend, he was playing at the one-handed backhand. This is some insider scoop. Jordan and I went out, and we hit some two-handed backhands, and he's starting to really love it. So fans, pay attention. Jordan Briones has got a two-handed backhand. It's going to be coming up a real weapon for him.
Buckle up. He's already used it a couple times here early in this singles match.
He's starting to drill it.
Nothing better than getting some inside scoop from Riley Newman. There
good court coverage there.
There's the movement by Jordan. You know, Jordan is a very quick athlete on the court. His agility side to side, covering the 20 feet from sideline to sideline, is impressive. But at this level, you have to be more than just quick. You've got to be able to hit those shots to finish, and that's going to be the difference maker here. Which player in this match is going to be able to hit those winning shots past their opponent?
That's right. I think both players have the elite quickness, but who's going to have that put-away shot?
There's that two-handed backhand.
That's a good little roller. It's a pretty good roller there. Just a really good volley by Collin there.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen to me, but he's hitting the shots. He's on point with those shots right now.
He's playing with a lot more confidence in that backhand side, so that's going to help him a lot.
So that's an example of what I was talking about. He returned down the middle, gave a forehand drive to Collin. However, Collin hit that ball with a little too much pace and hit it long. It was the right idea, poor execution.
That's right.
So early, you've got an advantage to Team West. I'm sorry, Team East, with Collin Johns being up 3. Okay, now Jordan all of a sudden on the board. Sometimes just a missed return or an unforced error by your opponent can spark some type of momentum for you.
You know, as a player, when you're on that 0, you really just want to get off of it. You want to get moving. You want to get off the other side. You want to serve with some points to your name. So I think this will help Jordan with some confidence here. There's the quickness.
That's a little lob right there. That's actually not a terrible shot. He just missed long. I think it's the good idea. You don't want to overuse that shot there.
When you're directly coming into the net to get a drop shot, in tennis or pickleball, when you go to the lob after that drop shot, you can't put a lot of power on it because your momentum is going into the ball. You just got to barely touch it because you have a lot of body weight coming into the shot.
That makes perfect sense, actually. And when you're that close to the net, you have to lift it. The problem is if you don't get the perfect angle on it, the opponent's going to be able to tee off on it.
It's a tricky play. I feel like a smarter decision or the higher percentage shot might just go cross court on that. Another cross court dink, but Jordan's got good touch regardless.
Yeah, and you see that a lot in singles these days at the highest level is the cat and mouse game played at the kitchen. It's not your traditional style like tennis. Tennis, you're going to stay back and hit baseline drives, and you're going to really set up a shot maybe 5 or 6 points or shots ahead. But in pickleball, it may just take 1 or 2 shots to get what you want to accomplish. So it's a little different scenario. Tyson McGuffin and Ben Johns and now Riley Newman are 3 of the players that I feel like do the cat and mouse game at the net in singles so well. Talk about that strategy and why that's effective for singles.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, coming in, I feel like from tennis background, we just want to bang and bang and bang from the baseline. But as Scott was mentioning, you can't always bang because there's not as much court they got to cover. So you got to do the cat and mouse game. You got a nice, that's a great shot. Just wide. Okay.
Just wide.
You got to do the cat and mouse game and wait for that opportunity for them to pop it up. If you're patient, they will pop shots up. You just got to give it time. Keep going cross court, low angles, and then look for your opportunity.
Speaking of patience, it seems like the Newmans have immense patience on the court. Is that just in your blood, or do you guys train for that to be patient, or is it a mental toughness that you have? I mean, a lot of people struggle with patience in this game of pickleball.
So what Lindsay and I will do, this is some insider scoop here. Lindsay and I will do is we'll make bets. We'll go cross court dinking, and whoever misses or goes beyond that kitchen line during a dink, they'll have to buy a Dairy Queen Blizzard. So we will have games, cross-court dinks. It's got to land in the kitchen, and if it doesn't, that person gets a point. And so you play to 5 points cross-court, and then you go backhand side. Same thing. You'd always put consequences on losing because you just always are playing for something.
That's unbelievable inside information there.
There's the backhand roller right there.
I want to know when one of you wins, which Blizzard do you choose? That's what I want to know.
Lindsay already knows I get the Reese's. She's paid enough over times.
How about Lindsay? What does she usually choose?
She goes with the Oreo Blizzard.
That's a solid choice right there. Both very solid choices there.
So Jordan's still with it's 1-4 here.
That's a great forehand passing shot right there.
Great forehand.
See, even if that ball comes back, it's going to be an advantage for Jordan because he can come up and attack off that shot.
Collin's return landed a little bit high. He would like to keep that slice a little lower, but it popped up for Jordan to really groove that forehand.
There's that two-hander again. Switched to a one-hander there, so he's a hybrid. He's a hybrid. And actually, I've seen you guys do it too. You're not exclusive to the two-handed backhand.
No, and I feel like the weakness with the two-handed backhand, there is a weakness, players. There is a weakness. The reach. The reach is sometimes limited at times. So I'll even switch to my left hand and get some of those stabs with the left.
So the way you can minimize that weakness is just by knowing when to change that up,
right,
and take the right shot selection with either a one hand or switching to that left hand.
Yeah, if I'm on the run or if I'm getting stretched out, I can't cover it with two hands, so I'll just take off my paddle and use my left hand and stab it.
And I mean, that's not something that we would teach necessarily at a clinic or what would be recommended, but when you're an elite athlete, I mean, you're coordinated a lot of times on both sides of your body, and it's not uncommon. Matter of fact, to that point, Collin Johns, who's on the far side in the white shirt, it was a pro tennis player and has two forehand drive shots.
Right hand and left hand.
Yeah, he switches hands and hits an effective drop and drive from that. And you'll see him do that here in singles also in pickleball.
That's a great ball.
Look at that.
Great shot. Oh.
Followed up by a forehand roll. You know, it's right now, it's just about he knows what he's got to do here. The execution will come. He'll make those little adjustments as the game goes on.
He's putting himself in the right position, and over time, if you put yourself in the right position, they'll pay off for you. That's a great backhand roll.
You know,
it just missed.
In general, Riley, we talk about unforced errors being just a devastating consequence to your game, and it even plays even more of an impact in this type of format because once you're down under about 4 minutes, if you're not on top score-wise, you're going to push a little harder, and those unforced errors might start coming out a little more prevalent. I mean, have you seen that play out?
Absolutely. I mean, that's one you really can't miss right there. You want to get off. I think the key in these matches, with the time matches, you got to get off to a good start because you know your opponent. If you're losing, they're going to call a timeout within that 3 to 5 minute range, and that's a minute you just lost. So key big starts are huge.
Have you? See, the problem with around the post in this kind of atmosphere is that we do have some obstacles in the way. That happened to be a wall that's a little closer than maybe a fence outside or something. So we're playing inside those parameters, but kudos to Collin because he put Jordan in that situation there. He put him in a bad spot.
Side out, change sides, 10 minutes.
All right, so we're at the 10-minute mark.
And onto that point, Scott, about the around the post. I think like in singles, when you have the opportunity, you're usually on the dead run trying to hit it around the post. It's much harder to do that on the dead run as opposed to doubles, where you're maybe going only just a couple steps to hit that around the
that
post.
Actually makes a lot of sense because you might be coming from baseline, the left side, mid-court. You don't know exactly where you're going to end up, but you're sprinting a lot of times, like you said, because there's not two of you.
Exactly.
It's just the one.
Yeah.
And that makes it a lot harder of a shot, I'm sure.
A lot harder when you're on the dead run sprint to hit it around the post. I mean, it can be done, sure, but the higher percentage shot is probably just to go back cross court or just get it over the net there.
Speaking of around the post, I remember seeing a video at the Lakes recently where you were playing doubles. Was it the gold medal match or just a?
It was, that was the gold medal match. I was partnered with Zane Affleck, and we were playing against Marcin and Ben Johns, and we had a pretty epic point. Ben left it just a little bit enough for me where I could just run, and I got my favorite shot, my two-handed backhand, and I just ripped it down the line.
Dead run, but you started from, I remember, about just to the inside of that middle line. You took off on a dead sprint and hit that ball around the post with a two-hander.
Yeah, you know what? I saw Ben looking at that spot. I was like, Ben, I'm going to beat you to it. And so I got there, and I just took it, man.
It pumped the crowd up big time.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Back to the action here. There you go. A good start from that side change right there for Jordan. Sometimes you need that first point again to just kind of spark some momentum for you. It's important in this type of format to get some type of strung together points, 2 or 3 in a row, so that you can keep the game close coming down to the wire.
Scoreboard pressure is everything in this. Scoreboard pressure. If you keep it close, your opponent that's great.
That's so good by both players.
And Scott and I were talking about in the beginning of this match, they both had the elite quickness, but who's going to have that put-away shot? Right now, Collin is doing more at the kitchen line, and he's putting more pressure on his opponent, and that's why he's up.
Absolutely.
It's a good ball by Collin. He's making Jordan really stretch for those balls, and Collin's moving in closely to the net there.
Absolutely. I think we've got a timeout called by Jordan. I believe Jordan called that timeout there. So at the timeout, I want to talk to you specifically real quick about, as a tennis player, a tennis family, what is it about pickleball that just makes it so fun, so addicting for you guys to continue wanting to be a part of this sport?
It's a good question, Scott. I mean, Lindsay and I and our whole family have played tennis our whole lives, even in college, high-level college. So it was almost time for a change, a new sport. We love tennis, sure. We'll go to all the big tournaments and watch the professionals, but it was something different. And pickleball is fun. I mean, it's definitely easier on the body, and you know, the money is not it's not too bad. I mean,
and it's getting better.
It's getting better
each day that goes by.
It's getting better, and I'm trying to get some of my college friends out there. Guys, if you're listening, give it a try. You'll love it. You'll get hooked. I'm actually hosting a tournament on Webby Island, Washington.
What are those dates again? Y'all mentioned it early in the day.
August 2nd, August 3rd on Webby Island, Washington, just outside Seattle. It's in the summertime. It's one of the most spectacular places you'll ever visit. Check it out. We're going to post the flyer on Pickleball Forum here in the next couple days, so be out and look for it.
I love it.
Right, Scott, free registration if you're ever coming.
I love it. I'm going to have to check my calendar and make sure I can make that.
Okay, so it's about 6 minutes, 15 seconds to go. Collin's up 8-4, so Jordan's really got to buckle down here these next couple minutes, because if he doesn't, it's going to be tough for a comeback.
Yeah, we've kind of seen a theme throughout the 3 days where the game will be close within maybe 2 points.
Great backhand down the line.
That is a great rip.
And Jordan, the key with that backhand is staying low and having a body turn. And Jordan did that absolutely fantastic on that ball.
I'm not saying you're taking full credit for his two-handed backhand, but I think you should take a little recognition for talking with him about that strategy, because it seems to be paying off for him right now.
His backhand side looks to be better than his forehand side. I don't know.
It really does. It's like he's a natural with it.
Yeah.
You know, I think the two-handed backhand in pickleball is very underrated right now, but I do think it's gaining in popularity. I really do.
I even had a conversation with with big old Kyle Yates last night, and he said he's even going to think about making a full-time switch.
I did hear him speaking to you about that actually in the player lounge the other day. It's pretty powerful when the number 3 singles player in the world in the GPR ranking system starts talking about using the two-handed backhand.
Yep. And if, it's a sign of respect, they see it's working. If their backhand isn't what it could be, well, then I'm going to look to do something different and maybe change it up potentially. So,
yeah, and as a pro, you've got to figure
adapt
out when things are working and when they're not. And also, I also just don't think it's a bad idea to have as many weapons in your arsenal as possible.
That's right. The willingness to adapt is so key in every sport, especially pickleball. Okay, let's see.
It's good movement there by Jordan to go get that. That is masterful right there.
That gets the crowd going right there.
So notice, though, he was able to get a little more room to work on this side with the bleachers because there's just a little more gap, and there's also not a referee on that side. So that is definitely, I guess, the more advantageous side to hit at ATP.
And as Jordan made contact, he actually stopped and made sure he had time and hit that ball around the post. He wasn't on the dead sprint, and he set himself up nicely for that ball.
And I think I should
really
mention
good
this
shot.
on the live stream. If there's anybody watching that's either new to pickleball and kind of seeing this for the first time, or maybe someone that's not very seasoned in all the terms of pickleball, an ATP stands for around the post, and that is a legal shot, meaning the ball doesn't have to cross over the plane of the net. It can go around it. It just has to land inside the white lines or touch the white line, for a matter of fact. So anybody that's new, I just wanted to explain that, because sometimes I think as higher level players or commentators, we can take that for granted.
That's a good point.
And I definitely don't want anybody being confused on that.
A good point. And also, do you want to go over Ernie's real
Oh,
quick?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's do that real quick in a second. Let's get to this real quick, because Jordan's all of a sudden closed his gap, and he's coming on strong right about the 3-minute mark here. I saw this from Jordan yesterday. Jordan starts a little slow, and all of a sudden it's like he picks up this momentum and it gets another gear going.
Yeah.
He did it day 1 and day 2, so he's getting going right here, and we're going to see under the 3 minutes right now if he can close this gap to within 1 or even tie it here.
I will be very curious to see if Collin calls a timeout. If Jordan gets this point, will Collin call a timeout?
That ball did sell wide. See, look at the body language from Collin right now.
Wow.
Even though he's winning, he sees and feels that the momentum has changed.
And Jordan's only down by 2 points with over 2 minutes to go. Crucial points coming up here.
Okay, so that was actually, to me, again, a great shot selection. Just the execution wasn't quite there. There's still no need to panic, though, right, Riley? He's only down 2, but he has to get a side out. He has to figure out a way to get the ball back in his possession.
It's back-to-back unforced errors. In the crucial moments, you really want to make your opponents play. Scoreboard pressure, just make them play.
Look at the court movement by Collin.
It's a great shot. Great shot by Collin Johns there.
A sign of respect from Jordan. He gave him that ball was in, good shot there. And, it's just a sign of respect.
Well, courtesy there.
Yeah, he knew. All right, so it seems like every match, during a close match, there comes this moment under 3 minutes where one of the players lengthens that gap. Either it gets closed or it gets lengthened. And right now, Collin is the one that's absolutely turning it up a little bit here in the kitchen.
His shots are landing deeper. He's putting more pressure on Jordan. Collin right now is playing some awesome pickleball.
That's that two-hand or that left-handed.
The lefty forehand.
That was his left-handed drive shot we were talking
about. That was ripped.
Now, it doesn't have a lot of topspin right there. That's a flat drive.
It's a flat drive, but it's just low over the net. So it's a tough ball for Jordan to get, but he did get that.
If anybody wonders how difficult that is to do, just next time you play pickleball, either in singles or doubles, just switch hands and try to hit a hard drive shot with your opposite non-dominated hand.
Give it a go, folks. See what happens.
Give it a go.
9-14.
Because that backhand was in. So 9-14.
All right, so it's basically 10-14. It's within 4. This is not out of touch right now. This is still within reach of Jordan's abilities here. Points end a little quicker. Jordan, no appeal there to the ref.
No appeal. I'm surprised there's no appeal.
See, I feel like as the opponent, I would even appeal that just in case, because the ref had a pretty good view of that right there.
I would definitely have peeled that one. What's it gonna hurt what's it gonna hurt when you appeal to a referee? There's no harm in that, and it's close enough where, it's not a sign of disrespect of your opponent at all. It's a friendly, hey, did you see it? What'd you see on that play? There's nothing. That's all it is.
Yeah, because also as a player, you're sometimes running full speed. It's difficult to see where that ball lands. Yeah. Riley, that. All right, guys, we're live here with Collin Johns. Collin, you finished up the evening last night against a tough competitor in Tyson McGuffin. Came up on the short end of that singles match, but you came out strong today against Jordan Briones. What did you do to get this win for Team West? Team East, I'm sorry.
Yeah, of course it's a tough turnaround finishing so late last night and coming here, play almost first match, third match. But yeah, I was able to push through and put enough balls in the court to get it done.
I love it. And just on cue, when we were talking about your left-handed drive, you executed it to perfection. Loved seeing that that one-handed left-hand drive shot. Also, that was a big win for Team East, man. That's 3 points that you guys can tack on. Really think that was a good win for you guys. Let's hope that you guys can get some momentum here.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. Go Team East.
All right, go Team East. Here we go. All right, we're going to bring Jordan Briones in now. If Jordan will come join me. I appreciate Collin right there doing a quick interview. All right, Jordan, get in here prime time. All right, buddy. Hey, man. I got to tell you, I've watched you for 3 days now. You're getting better and better and better every time you step on the court with this event. You did start off a little bit slow, but every time I see you hit this next gear, you seem to have this moment in every match where you really make a big push. Talk about that.
Yeah, I don't mean to get off to a bad start every time, but yeah, I definitely just try to, every time I serve, try to breathe a little bit, take more time thinking about what I'm going to do next. And yeah, I think I played pretty well in that match. Collin played great. He's a great player. So. Also,
I had some inside information from Riley Newman doing the commentary with it. Looked like you're implementing a two-handed backhand all of a sudden.
Yeah, something I've been working on with my singles game. So I came from a background of tennis, and I had a two-hander, so something I'm working on.
It looked good from up where we were sitting, buddy.
Thank you. Thanks.
Buddy, that's Jordan Briones with Primetime Pickleball. Thanks so much, buddy. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back to the action. It's the buzzer right there. I got to go do a quick interview. Okay. I appreciate your time so much, man.
Absolutely.
Welcome to Tennis and Pickleball US in Bonita Springs, Florida, where you can get the latest paddles, rackets, shoes, accessories, and clothing.
We've got over 4,000 square feet of nothing but pickleball and tennis.
One of the best parts about our store is that you can try out anything you'd like on the court or in the hitting lane behind us. Make sure it's something that you like. Maybe you're here on vacation, you decide you want to purchase something later, you can always visit the online store as well, tennis-us.com. If you've never played pickleball before, this is a great place to come and learn. We have a full-time pro on staff, Jonathan Andrews, also known as Johnny Pickleball. If you want to learn, you can do that right here by taking lessons, group lessons, clinics for beginners. We do it all here at Tennis and Pickleball US. Come and see us. Come and see us. We'll be happy.